I don't know, it's like, it's unnecessary. Like, you have like...
And my favorite class is this multimedia introduction to film production class. And I love it because the teacher, the professor, he's cool.
Conservation photography with Susan McConnell, freshman intro sem. I got to take really sick pictures of seals, like elephant seals, up at Point Reyes. That was super sick. She's cool. She like goes diving with like the whales and like the leopard seals and stuff. So cool to be in like her presence.
I would say my favorite class right now is surprisingly my power class. I'm in wellness, the rhetoric of physical and mental health. And so right now I'm writing a paper on the no pain, no gain mentality, which is really interesting to me because I'm really interested in sports. So it's been really cool to read scholarly articles about that topic.
My favorite class I've ever taken was Dante's Inferno with Robert Pogue Harrison. He has since retired, which is really sad, but that class was really magical. I think the energy that he brought to the class, we only read that one book, and everyone was like really trauma bonded together. We were like reading as we were like going through the like different circles of hell, and it was just such a great group of people.
English 91 AI, it's like this English course where you go to Monterey and you watch whales and write poetry. They take us on a boat to like go and watch whales, and we just bring out notebooks and write like poetry and short fiction writing. And then they take us to Monterey Aquarium, and so we get free tickets to that.
My favorite class was Psych 80, Intro to Personality and Affective Science. It was my favorite because you learn a lot, not just about personality, but also culture. And the professor, Jeannie Tsai, is just really pleasant to listen to. And she was high school friends with Will Ferrell. Tidbit, you'll learn in that class.
And my favorite class so far is Design 170, Visual Frontiers. I think it's very interesting to like find out ways to get all the ideas in your head onto like a graphical, onto like Figma and things like that. So I think it's really cool. Like Patrick is such a good professor. He's very patient, and like the TAs are just so nice and kind, even though it's super early.
I like this class called Sex and the Early Church by Michael Penn. It's super great, it's super fun, I love it. It's a religious studies class, and it's just like it's a very niche topic, and I like how it examined like the intersection of religion and femgen.
My favorite classes, it's kind of a controversial opinion, but probably Math 51. Although it's a lot to put into 10 weeks, but the subject material, you get to describe multi-dimensional stuff, and that's like very powerful language. Usually we think of things like on a spectrum, which even though that's very helpful, it's one-dimensional. So sometimes thinking of things two-dimensionally or three-dimensionally, it's given me a stronger vocabulary to understand the world, I feel.
My favorite class I've ever taken at Stanford was either Latin 1L or Classics 1L Latin, which was just like an amazing teacher. I learned a lot. It's a really fun language to learn. Or I took a class called Conversions Between Abrahamic Religions in the Ancient and Early Medieval Period. Kind of a mouthful, but this is the class that ended up having me become a medieval studies specialist in the history department.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was super transformative actually.
My least favorite class from last quarter, but I also like it, is my Intro to International Relations. But that's only because I almost failed and dropped out of school. I'm kidding.
I'm currently in Power 2EH, the rhetoric of humor. There's a lot of potential for this class to be the best class I've ever taken at Stanford. Unfortunately, I'm not sure my values on humor align with that of the teaching staff. That's okay. Okay, I can play the game that they want me to play and get a passing grade, but no. Power 2 requirement needs to go, is my take.
And I would say my least favorite class is econ. I actually like the material surprisingly, but I just think that the way that Stanford sets it up is a little difficult. Like the sections are so short, and then it's really hard to get a lot out of the lecture, so it's just difficult to learn.
I think my least favorite class was probably Power. Not because I think Power is bad in general, but I feel like I do a lot of writing and a lot of classes, and so it felt a little redundant.
CS 103. It's just an awful class. Never take it if you don't have to, yeah.
CS 103. I think it was just a really tough class, and I'm not a CS major, so I kind of struggled through that.
Math 21, just because I feel like Stanford does not teach Math 21 well, but yeah.
power.
Why?
I don't know. It's like it's unnecessary. Like you have like writing in major, you have power, you have power 2. Like that's a lot. That's too much. Like we only need 1, in my opinion.
I don't know, probably just like my first power class, honestly. But that's just because it was like over COVID, and it's hard to enjoy the full class over COVID. I much preferred my second power class, which was in person.
Probably Global Futures. It's a poli-sci class. It's really popular, and I think it's a great class, but it was pretty disjointed, and I think I am not cut out to be a poli-sci person.